Hi everyone, this is Heather Lautinen from the Flourish.Academy and from Weddings by Heather. This is episode 316, and yes, I am photographing a wedding today. It is Sunday. I'm really excited, but I was working with a client last week and she asked me how she could get started in weddings. That is, how do you photograph a wedding if you've never photographed a wedding? Because obviously you need experience. Well, one way is to network and find some wedding photographers in your area and see if you can second shoot for them. And if you're in my area, I offer second shooting as a service, so you can actually hire me as your second shooter, which is what I'm doing today. So I was hired by a mentoring client of mine to second shoot with her because she's done a few weddings, but she's not quite ready to do them on her own. So she pays me to come along and I photograph with her. I make sure everything is covered. She can learn, then she doesn't have the same pressure on her because I have her covered. Well, something very interesting happened in the last few days, and this is worth noting, and that is she's the primary photographer, I'm the second shooter, but she has fallen extremely ill. She has some fairly serious medical issues that she's dealing with right now. Therefore, she cannot attend the wedding. So I have stepped in as the primary shooter today, and then my friend Michelle is coming along as the second shooter. So Michelle has been talking to me, also a mentoring client, about tagging along at weddings. So this was a great opportunity. She happened to be available, so she's gonna come along. So you want to network and make friends with other wedding photographers. When I was starting out, I would have done anything to get myself at a wedding. So I would call or email any photographer that I could. I would ask them if I could carry their bags around. I would ask to do it for free. I did not expect to be paid while I was learning, and a few people were gracious enough to allow me to do that. I heard a lot of no's. I also did not hear back from a lot of people. That's okay. I found a few people and we became friends, and they were so kind, and there are lots of people out there like that, but you have to be okay with rejection, the fact that you might hear no if you reach out to people. But let me give you a little insider tip. If you are reaching out to local photographers and you have zero experience or very limited experience with weddings, then you might want to offer to carry their bags or just tag along for free and help them in order to get some experience, which is what I did. Therefore, I shot many a Saturday for free without getting paid. There is nothing that makes me kind of like, I'm not so sure, as when I get an email from someone that says, hi, I want to get into weddings. What do you pay second shooters? Do you have any availability? If the first thing you ask me is what I pay second shooters, well, I don't know how driven or hungry you are to get into weddings. If that's your first question, is about the money. But if somebody comes up to me and says, listen, I would do anything to get myself at weddings. Do you have anything coming up where I can help you out or just tag along? To which I would say, absolutely. If I have the availability, I would love to have you, because people did that for me as well. So if you are looking to get into weddings, make some friends in the wedding industry, be prepared to hear no, be polite, and be willing to put your time in. And that might mean schlepping bags for free. It's what I did. You get experience and then you move on from there. Okay, so that's one thing I wanted to talk about. Also, I wanted to say that when you are going to weddings, you should always attempt to look your best, which is why I am in a full black pantsuit, because I want to look professional. I am there to serve. I don't want to stand out. I want to blend in, but I want to look my absolute best. Everything I do is for a reason. For instance, I put my hair up in this really kind of tight, messy bun, and I have it locked in with more hairspray. I mean, enough hairspray probably to last through a nuclear fallout, because I don't want to deal with it. I don't want it to look messy or disheveled. And I promise you, by the end of the day, I will look disheveled, but I don't want my hair to reflect that. And I wear my camera crossbody, so if I take my strap on and off a couple of times, it can catch on my hair. It makes it look messy. But when I have it locked in like this, that is no problem at all. Also, I wear old lady orthopedic shoes. These are Naturalizer. I also have a spare pair of shoes in my trunk, because I don't care who you are or how comfortable your shoes are. When you're on your feet for 10 or 12 hours a day working, they are going to hurt. So if possible, I like to switch out my shoes at some point in the wedding. Also, the Pittsburgh Marathon is happening today. Isn't that awesome? There are roads closed, there's probably traffic everywhere. So I'm leaving ridiculously early to make sure I can get into town and park where I need to be. And if that means that I am at the hotel where the bride is getting ready an hour and a half ahead of time, then I will sit in the lobby and wait. What I like to do is arrive at the bride's room about 15 to 25 minutes prior to my scheduled start time. There's two reasons I do that. One is I want to arrive before she ever even thinks to herself, I wonder where Heather's at. I never want her to think that. But I don't want to arrive so early that when I get there, she freaks out, because sometimes your presence can cause the bride to think, oh my gosh, we're behind, or we need to get moving. So I want to arrive early, but not too early. How do you guys handle weddings? How do you handle traffic? How do you dress for weddings? By the way, I don't care what the bride says about, oh, our wedding is super laid back and casual. I don't care if I'm photographing at a farm, a barn. I do not care. I will always dress this way. I would so much rather be overdressed than underdressed. That's just a rule. That's the number one rule. You want to always look your best. Could you please leave a comment? Let me know. Are you interested in getting into weddings? Do you need some help finding a photographer that you might want to shoot with? I know that there are many photographers in our area that are more than happy to bring second and third shooters along, but you better be willing to carry bags for free. I hope that you found this useful. I'll see you in the next video.